My name is Ben. I work in influencer marketing at adspree Media. We do all kinds of marketing for video games of all different sizes, and I work in the tiny influencer section of that. And today, I wanted to bring along a nice panel of people from different parts of the industry. So, we have Florian on the end here from Gameloft. They do a lot of mobile games, but I'm sure he can introduce himself. We've got Tom from Wargaming, Richard from Nordcurrent, and our very own influencer, full-time content producer, Michael Jones, also known as iEarlGrey. Can I just give you guys time to introduce yourselves and say a bit about what you do and who you are and what part of the industry you're in?
Okay. Hi, I'm Florian from Gameloft. I'm digital marketing manager, and I take care of influencer marketing in our business for the German, Switzerland, and Austria market. And so far, we're doing influencer marketing for over 2.5 years. And if you know, Gameloft's doing mainly mobile games, and we're strong going in the industry for almost 15 years now.
Hey guys, I'm Tom, and I'm with Wargaming. I'm doing something with tanks mostly, and I'm the Wargaming Europe spokesperson, whatever that means. So this means I'm sitting here on this panel and try to entertain you, and we are doing some influencer marketing as well, regional, globally, and since 3.5 years, I think.
Hi, I'm Richard from Lithuania, from the studio Nordcurrent. We are a mobile game studio. We have offices in Vilnius in Lithuania and a smaller office in Warsaw. I'm mostly working with social media, with events, with any kind of PR activities, and helping also with influencer marketing right now.
I'm iEarlGrey, as you might have guessed, from the UK. I've been streaming full-time on Twitch and I've been partnered there. Recently, I've also moved over a bit to YouTube as well. I've been streaming predominantly wargaming games, specifically World of Warships, engaging the community there as that game's grown, establishing myself as a community contributor with wargaming. I've enjoyed being a sort of focal point for the community where they've voiced their feelings, concerns, their enjoyment of the game, and been very inclusive and enjoyed promoting it.
Okay, thanks guys. That's who we've got with us today. I'm really happy to have them here. I think it's a nice, diverse panel that we can talk to and get some interesting insights from all over the industry. So, influencer marketing. I feel like you can't go very long at the moment in this industry without hearing someone tell you that it's a good idea, or tell you that it's a terrible idea, or tell you to get involved. And I really wanted to gather these guys and really discuss that and work out what we should do, what we shouldn't do, some of the finer points of running influencer campaigns, what it's like dealing with influencer campaigns, working as a YouTuber or a streamer, and really take it from there. So I think to start off, I want to hear what you guys feel about influencer marketing and why you feel it's an important marketing channel to use right now. Who wants in?
Okay. There you go. Yeah, thanks. So we are very interested in influencer marketing because so we can reach a certain niche of people. I mean, if you want to go strong for a big field of people, not a specific target group, you go to classical media like TV or I don't know what. But if you want to reach a certain target group like hardcore gamers or anything else, like you can go through influencers and target them very directly, and usually they're very engaged with the influencers, so you get a very direct approach to the target group and can speak to them directly, and usually like the big engagement they have, they use it to just to get the people into the games. So it's a very direct approach and a very good approach to target a certain niche group for us, and that's what we mostly do.
To put it like this, people with some years in the industry, elderly guys like me, been in this industry since more than 20 years now, we see a significant change in the media, which usually covered our titles, our games, and likewise. So life was way more easy in the old times. We had a press trip to organize, like to going to Hamburg, speaking for Germany, going to Hamburg, visit Computerbildspiele, go into Nuremberg for Computec, so PC games, PC action and so on, go into Munich for GameStar and all the other stuff, but print is literally, even in Germany, so the print country #1 is literally going down and down more and more, and you need new ways to reach your audience. And what's your audience? Example, my daughter is 16. We started talking, somehow she grew up with playing video games. I don't know how this came, but by accident maybe. So I taught her from the beginning reading books. So she does this, perfect, but she never ever would have come to the great idea to take a video games magazine to inform herself about games. Never ever. What was she doing? Watching YouTube. This is how my mindset, say 4 years ago, started to change.
Yeah. No, please go on, Richard.
For us, it was, I guess, kind of coincidental timing, as we launched our game Cooking Fever a few years ago, and around the same time, I guess, all this influencer marketing idea started to formulate and to get shape and kind of rules. And we almost at once we saw some examples without our involvement how people were getting a game and showcasing it on YouTube, and it was very fun to see that people love to talk about it, and there is a real impact in the perception and in downloads of the game. So we started to kind of follow this area and try to involve ourselves in different ways.
Do you want to say anything from the complete opposite point of view on the receiving end of all of this?
Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of work with adspree, specifically with Ben, liaising through him with developers, and it's been a good way of being introduced to different games that I might not have looked at. But with the relevance, we've enjoyed actually having the developers or the community managers on stream with me, because I feel it's a unique opportunity for the people who have made the product, who are the best qualified to showcase it, and then I'm the familiar face. And having come from sales, be it in a state agency in conventional forms, for me, it's been kind of the easiest product to sell. It's something, as long as it puts, gets a positive reaction, puts a smile on your face, everyone comes together to celebrate it. It's kind of proved really, as long as it's delivered in the way that they're used to, it's been a really good experience.
Yeah, I guess it kind of builds communities at the same time. Like with the games that you play, the wargaming games, and I'm sure you've seen this as well, Tom, you get these communities popping up everywhere, and if you can help that along the way, maybe by using YouTube channels or using other social channels to help these communities grow, then you get this organic growth kind of out of nowhere that doesn't seem very paid, and it's really nice to see. So you guys all come from really different corners of the industry. We've got casual games, we've got hardcore games, we've got new studios, old studios. But which type of games do you feel work better with influencer marketing? Or is there a game that works the best? Or what do you guys feel?
I can directly answer it because we tried several genres. We tried casual games, I would say, we have like Candy Crush-like games, which are really colorful and really easy to understand, easy to play, and easy to hook people on. That's usually working quite well with influencer marketing, because I actually can't really explain why, but usually the guys who are promoting these kind of games are not really gamers, but more like comedians, like these YouTubers who are doing real-life videos and sketches and stunts and all this kind of stuff, and they are really like stars to their community, so it's really easy for them to promote the product, and these casual games are fitting their audience, and they're working usually really well for us. Mid-core games, just like I would say like racers or something like this, or even some shooters who are not really that hardcore are working also quite well, because they have like a very niche community, but they're really engaged to their YouTubers or influencers, which are really fine, which is really hard for us to promote or to do via this marketing channel is hardcore games like MMOs or MOBAs, or I don't know, that these are really hard for us because the communities are so widespread, because for mobile these genres are not really well perceived yet, so they are not really widespread, and all the people don't have like this one channel where they go to, but they have several channels, so to find them and speak to them is really hard for us. But like I said, for mid-core games like racers and some shooters, and for casual games, it's working really well for us.
Yeah, I feel like with casual games, it may be sometimes slightly more difficult. You need to look at the audience that you're trying to target, be it, I don't know, females 18, 25, and then you've got to work out where to find them. And a lot of the time that isn't on sort of normal gaming media, so you'll go to maybe lifestyle channels, maybe beauty-based social media channels. You could go to fitness, health, all kinds of places to try and find this perfect target audience, and then work from there. Tom, how do you feel this?
That's the key, the audience you want to reach, and especially for our titles like World of Tanks, World of Warships, and likewise our audience is a little bit older than the typical video games audience, and this brings a couple of opportunities, but also a couple of difficulties, meaning normal YouTubers who have an audience of, say, teenagers and likewise, so the classical guys, our gamers would never ever watch people like these. It's impossible. So you need specialized people, you need community contributors who are in the game, who come out of the community, who love the game, and this is the perfect match. People who really know about their stuff and who are respected inside the community as good players, as players who've done their homework, having good stats, and likewise. So this is way more important than a beauty channel, which doesn't fit for a couple of tanks at all.
I mean, Mike, you play his games. What's your audience like? How do you think that relates to your experience streaming his games and working with your audience?
Well, for me, actually, I came to World of Warships organically of my own volition. I found a game I liked. Also identified that as a streamer a couple of years ago looking to break into Twitch, I wasn't actually offering a high level of elite gameplay. It was targeting the older gamer and more of the sort of casual gamer, the average guy, the guy who's working all week and then coming into the game and playing it. So focusing on engagement and fun and bringing perhaps an alternative aspect to that game and genre. But with World of Warships in the audience, it's having the regulars in, and there's the crossover as well, where I can go into tanks and the players are familiar within that whole realm of different games and platforms. So yeah, cross-promotion is pretty easy too.
Okay. So what kind of influencers and channels have you guys used in the past to try and reach these ideal target audiences?
So as I said in the beginning, we have, our world is divided into server clusters, meaning Europeans play on the European server, CIS guys, former Soviet Union play on their server, Asia is separated into different servers, like one for Asia Pacific, one for Japan, one for Korea, South Korea, and one for Taiwan. The Americas play on their server as well. So, each of these server regions, server clusters, has its own publishing office, and they are quite independent, meaning there is no such thing as global influencer campaigns or likewise, but regional. And here, for example, in Europe, we tried in several countries, several different things, several aspects. We are running campaigns. We are having this community contributor program, which is very, very important for us. We are working together with smaller YouTubers, but definitely fit the needs of the audience. But as well, because of personal relations, we were with a couple of very big German YouTubers, for example, which we treated in a special way, without money being involved, just on a personal relation. But just as an example, I took Le Floyd, which is one of the top-notch guys here in Germany, with me to a studio tour to St. Petersburg, and gave him a lot of vodka. and we spent 3 awesome days over there, and after this, he made some stuff because he just liked it.
Well, I want to hear from Richard about the types of channels that you use, because I feel like massive German gaming channels, like really high profile, is probably not the best place for you to go to market your games.
Yeah, well, for us it's a very different goal. We need to reach, we have a very clear audience in our game, and it's mostly ladies. I think it's even around 80% of our gamers are ladies who are not gamers in general. So in order to reach them, it showed that YouTube worked perfectly, because you can get already this segment which you want, but at the same time you can get a very big reach. I mean, large channels with lots of views, with lots of engagement. And as we are not looking for gamers, we're looking for, well, ladies who would be interested to play. We tried different topic channels. It might be cooking, obviously. It might be fashion. It might be some beauty style, and in general, anything which attracts viewers, and which the YouTubers, the ladies who have like bright personality, let's say, that's what works really best for us.
Yeah. Would you guys say that you found more success with bigger channels, or using multiple smaller communities to market your games?
For now we are focusing more on bigger channels, okay. But we will try different setups, because from the bigger channel you really can feel the impact. I can give you an example. There is one Mexican girl, and after her video, all South America was playing our game. And
the one video?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
so
cool.
Yeah, there is really the impact is really huge. I was personally very surprised, and one of the first campaigns in Germany was again, all the German-speaking part of Europe was like, you feel at once the effect. That's very nice to see.
Yeah, I guess the effect lasts some time as well. Like, if you put a video up and it stays there, and it will stay there for a long time, and you can, yeah, it may be an investment right now, but the traffic keeps coming, and the tracking link will still be there, and you can see these people still coming, even months after the initial upload, which is quite nice. So you said you've had positive experiences using influencer marketing.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, would you guys agree?
Yeah, definitely. We also had some negative things, obviously, but the positive marketing campaigns are definitely in majority. Yeah.
Is it comparable to I don't know, performance marketing or other kinds of marketing channels? Like, what kind of results can we expect if we want to launch an influencer marketing campaign compared to maybe more traditional media?
I mean, the big difference is to more traditional marketing channels like TV or something, that you can track the results. At least for us, we can track the results way better than we can with TV, for example. And also we can see sometimes organic growth together with our paid growth, basically. So if you do it correctly and have a nice thing going, like inviting Floyd to St. Petersburg, he will not even do one video, but will do several videos, and all the people then are saying, oh cool, look how cool Wargaming is, inviting this YouTuber to his headquarters or to his studio, whatever. And it can create a buzz, which is not so much possible with TV, for example. So TV you showed once and it passes by. Not even everybody's noticing it. But if you really are going to watch a YouTuber, which you're doing on main focus, then you really are engaged and really are following what he's saying and not just watching another ad on TV.
Yeah. So it may take a bit more effort to set up in the first place. It's not as simple as just setting a CPI amount and clicking go, but you think that in the long run, it really is a positive experience. Okay, that's great. Do you guys have anything to add on that?
What it gives from the mobile perspective is that, and compared to the ad networks is that you get out of the system. You spread in the different channel, and you kind of get how to say, larger awareness and kind of trust in your product. And as people see not from the same screen as they see everything else, but they get from the place which they want to see. That's
it's more trusted. You know, they're going there to find this content, and they see these people doing this thing that they enjoy doing, and they want to get involved. I mean, like Mike, you run these campaigns, and you play these games. Like, what results are you seeing, and what is your audience saying to these campaigns that you run, or these new games that you're showing them?
With any new game, you might have a sort of bit of suspicion, sometimes, you know, with the laws of disclosure and so forth about, you know, whether it's sponsored or not. As long as it's approached correctly, I've been mindful of relevance. So, you know, games you may have come to me with, I may have gone, I'm sorry, from my understanding of my audience, I'm not sure, you know, that's going to be in our interest. And then games that definitely are, it's like, wow, yeah, we can really get on board with this. And then I've also got a feeling of what my guys have responded to in the past, what they've said they enjoy. And I keep in mind that these are human beings with multiple interests that can be bridged over. So I can, to a degree, explore other territories. But yeah, first and foremost, these are people that I've seen out, you know, for multiple days, have come to know, you know, semi-personally as one can over the internet. So the whole sales thing of gaining trust is already there, if you're trying to get them to engage and download. But again, it's not in these sort of areas that normally make people shrink away when you talk about sales. What I'm doing, for the most part, especially with Warships and any other game that's multiplayer, especially online, hey, come have fun with me. It's really positive all around, and it's an easy exercise.
Yeah, no, I think there's a very fine line when trying to find the right influencer for a game. You know, it's a very small difference between getting it perfect and building a community and finding the perfect person to promote this game, and then missing completely, and then their audience gets very upset, and you don't get very many installs or downloads. The impact is nowhere near what you're looking for, and I think a lot of it has to do with just being patient with looking for the right content creator, and being patient with the content creator, understanding their audience as well. Like, these aren't just normal traffic sources. These are individual human beings who you need to talk to and discuss things with, and work out their needs as well. I think once you get that down, then there are just positive experiences to be had overall.
It's, in my personal opinion, absolutely essential that the YouTuber who is representing and presenting your game is trustworthy to his community, and it's not like, okay, I've been paid for wargaming to play tanks, and now here, take the shit. Yeah, it's like, it doesn't work. It never ever works, and I personally don't like this approach at all. What we did, for example, another example, sorry, I'm coming with small examples. What we did in CIS, what our PR team did there, was gathering, I think it was 12 or 14 of the biggest influencers they had in CIS region, from all different ways, including a guy who's vlogging about alcohol, about drinks, a beauty lady, a tattoo lady, a gamer, a car guy who's testing new cars, and so on and so on. So 12 or 14 were gathered and accompanied by a wargaming crew, including a film team, a film crew, and they were spent 1 week on a big sailing ship, traveling through the Black Sea, as far as I recall, and it was really a nice trip. And they did what they are anyway doing. They just filmed and made all this stuff, and in all these different aspects of the YouTube influencer options and possibilities, and it was great. And we even made a documentary about this, which was broadcasted in Russian TV as well. So, just awesome.
Yeah, I think that goes back to saying that it may take more effort in the beginning to set things up, But if you do it right and if you invest it in the right places, then you can see results that are way more impressive than anything you've really seen before. Do you want to say something, Julian?
Yeah, we had something more game related than you did. Like you did just invite them to a cruise and they vlogged and everything, which is fine. We tried something similar, but more, like I said, like more into the game. So we had a beauty vlogger, sorry, German word, beauty vlogger, and she was promoting our Disney game basically on a channel. It's like she made a sweepstake on the comments and just comment, and you can win a trip with me to Disneyland Paris. So that's what we did, and she just mentioned the game for, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds in her 15 minutes video, and the game was blowing up on the App Store basically. She's one of the biggest German beauty vloggers, so she's really impactful. And afterwards, she posted a video of she meeting her fan, like the meet and greet, and she posted the video, and the game was again going crazy in the App Store. So you can see it's just, it wasn't very expensive for us. We basically paid the Disney thing, which was sponsored by Disney anyway, and then we, so we hadn't much cost, but thanks. But in the end, our game was exploding in the German App Stores, and we had like this organic feel that she made a meet and greet sponsored by us and Disney, and everybody was happy. So it was a win-win-win situation for us. And it took some effort to set everything up, obviously, but in the end it was so great that every second was worth it.
Yeah, it's kind of blurring the lines between digital marketing and community management, and finding this middle ground where you've got to find someone that can do that for the first thing, and then make sure it works. So when people talk about influencer marketing, something that comes up a lot is how expensive it is and how it can potentially cost a lot of money. But do you think it's worth spending like a higher amount for a bigger influencer, or would you rather spend money on the smaller guys, or what do you think about this? Anyone? Yeah. Richard?
I mean, in the beginning it was really scary, in the sense that you have to give upfront to trust the influencer, and you have to give upfront the agreed amount, and you don't know what result to expect when you started. Especially, well, in our case, as we usually took the channels which didn't have any gaming-related content, and you don't know how people will react to that. But in the end, it really worked quite well compared to other marketing options. For us, that was very, very convenient. But that's the thing. You have to have like this leap of faith. So yeah, but it worked well.
Yeah, so we also had like a huge try and error phase. Basically, it was 1.5 years where we tried everything. We tried a cluster of small YouTubers which are very engaged into gaming. We had some organic YouTubers who were doing videos on our games anyway. We had big YouTubers who weren't related to gaming at all. Then we had some YouTubers who were doing, big YouTubers who were doing gaming. So in the end, the more you spend, usually the more you get out. So it makes sense to pay more money so you can get more out, but sometimes you can have big success with a smaller YouTuber which is fitting really, really well. Like we're doing mobile games, usually they are very similar to games for console or for PC. And if we're having like somebody who's playing Call of Duty on his channel all the time, and we're having this shooting game for mobile, and it's basically the same thing just for mobile, and the community is playing this game anyway, and then the YouTuber comes out and say, hey, you play Call of Duty all the time, why don't you play a similar game on your smartphone when you're on the go, basically. And that was for us just such a really, really good fit that we didn't spend much, basically, like 5 to 10K euros, and we had such a huge impact on the community, which was really great. So if you can find the right fit, you probably can spend a little less, but usually if you want to have a big impact, you have to pay quite a lot.
Yeah, I want to give an example of one of our campaigns. It's an anime MMORPG. It's pretty, it's cute, it's anime, it's everything you'd expect from this game. And we were looking for kind of small channels like you were to start with, like small kind of gaming channels aimed at females really. And we found this one female YouTuber. Her videos maybe break 10,000 views. She's not not huge by any stretch of the imagination. And we found that it was such a good fit for her, this game. She made the videos, they were very, very cheap, and she just kept making them, and kept making, we wanted a video series of 3, and I think she's on like 17 now, 18. She's created a community. She now has the biggest guild in the entire game, with like 300 members or something, just from this little video series. And we're talking to the developers, and as you said before, Richard, it's like a leap of faith to pay this money for these videos. But what we're doing now is we're experimenting with more performance-based things. So we know she likes to play the game, but we also want to kind of reward her for this work she's putting in. And a lot of developers are very happy to pay on a performance basis. It's just trying to convince the influencers to do so. Like, Mike, I mean, you stream a lot. You get paid for making content. Like, what do you think about payment models? Like, how would you like to get paid?
Well, personally, I'm pretty much open to experimenting. It is new territory in comparison to the conventional means where there's set ways of doing things. Like we've talked about being creative. Tom's even highlighted ways that you can get around not even paying. The first concern from the influencer is this a fertile ground for creating content? As this influencer's found, she's taken it and she's run with it. I've been open to cost per downloads, installs, those sort of things, and very much open to it. And I think that's, again, down to the negotiations. You can be creative with your proposals and what you want, and even explaining perhaps any fears that you may have, about relevancy and conversions to try and minimize that leap of faith that you've described.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we've been trying to do, is kind of educate the influencers about what it really means to take on performance campaigns, because they would much rather see a big number at the end of an agreement than like a small $6-7 number that they get every time someone installs. But it often works out quite a lot better. And I think what we've been doing is working on maybe scaling payment models based on views, working on pure performance, and it really does help share the risk, so you don't have to make this leap of faith when you're spending 10,000 euros on a video series and you have to then explain that in 6 weeks' time. And educating these YouTubers to take these CPL campaigns and sort of meet in the middle and try and work out something that works for everybody. So we have 5 or so minutes left. I wanted to take this opportunity to ask you guys if anyone has any burning questions they would like to ask anyone on the panel or anyone just in general.
Hi, I have a question for Mike. How many offers do you get per week or per month, and how many do you accept?
It's not been too many, but that's been down to how focused my market is. So I've been working pretty much exclusively with Ben, sharing all the analytics and statistics that I've garnered from my channel. I'm comparatively very small, so you'd look at me as a small targeted influencer. So it's not been too many, but we've worked with My.com, Armored Warfare.
Chill.
Sorry?
No, continue.
Oh. I don't know if I put my foot in it there. But relevancies and other stuff like that, we've been experimenting with these different ways.
Yeah, I think with the amount of, I talk to a lot of influencers most days, and they do get a lot. They're getting more and more requests from increasingly irrelevant companies that want to work with them. I think there are a lot of influencer agencies that will just get a product and ask everybody they possibly can and hope that they reply. So it's getting more difficult for influencers to find the correct brand or product or game for them because they're getting such a high volume of requests. But what you're finding is a lot of the bigger ones are kind of locking it all down and outsourcing it to like a full-time manager. They'll get a manager or an editor and a PA all in one, and they'll get them to do all of the business development and management for them. So it's getting a bit messy in their inboxes, I would say, definitely.
I can comment from yesterday's session. There was yesterday's session about game influencers also. And they did a research and asked these questions to their influencers. So the answer was that the bigger guys, they get about even 50 requests 40 to 50 requests a month, and they accept like 2, 3, a few. So that's very, very big competition for the bigger, better known people.
I think also what's important for the influencer is to still remain true to where they came from. Like their audience is not going to be happy if every second video is some kind of product placement or some kind of new game that they are being paid to show off. And a lot of the bigger YouTubers are really aware of their community and their audience, and they will turn down some pretty large sums of money just to protect the little corner of the internet that they have. So I don't think they will accept too many if they know exactly what they're doing. Okay.
Additionally to, or just for adding that bigger or really big YouTubers, especially here in Germany, now tend to have a personal manager who do their business stuff for them, that they can focus on their creativity in their videos. And examples are people like Gronk or LeFloid once more, or Pete's Meat, and so on and so on. So guys with millions and millions of subscribers and followers are getting professionalized in a way as well.
Yeah.
Speaking about professionalizing it, do you actually prefer going, without putting adspree now to the side, going straight to the YouTubers, speaking with them, or doing it via an agency?
Us?
For example?
Always. Different ways, and we use partner companies and for campaigns, and which is very, very helpful to have an agency who, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, 7,500 influencers in your database, and likewise, so they help us with finding the right influencers for a performance campaign, and likewise. But where we have, as I mentioned already, where we have a personal relation, I always try to do this. And then we have the community contribution program, which is from the community, for the community, with our support, and likewise. So we do different ways.
I think it's always preferable to work directly. However, that takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. If you want to spend, I don't know, X amount of money on a group of influencers, and yeah, you could go directly to one and pay them this money, but you're going to get a better result by maybe using 15 to 20 smaller guys, and you don't always have that time or energy to actually put into that. Do you agree?
Yeah, but also it's very difficult sometimes to handle these YouTubers or influencers directly because they are so busy, especially the big German YouTubers. They're so busy on vacation. It seems like all the time. I mean, they're not, but it seems like they're on vacation all the time and not reachable. Their smartphones are turned off and everything. So that's why we try to go via agencies. So they have to direct contact, most likely to the personal agent or to the YouTuber themselves, but for us it would be very stressful to handle everything by ourselves because we are not only doing influencer marketing, and then if you want to handle these YouTubers who are so busy, it's a very pain in the ass sometimes. So we try to go via agencies most of the time.
Okay.
Hi. So I'm not that familiar with this space, so maybe my question is a bit naive. We're a small company. We're, I guess, thinking about doing this, I guess using influencers or talking to them. Do you have any advice for small companies, maybe with a very small budget? I mean, I guess besides emailing your stuff to them, I guess.
Think about who you want to play your game or who you want to use your product, and then find a space on the internet where those people hang out. Contact these small YouTubers. Maybe say, look, I've got this game, it's quite cool, I really think you'll like it. Here's a bunch of keys, show it to your community and see what you think. And then if they like it, they'll continue to play it more. You don't have to invest a load of money, I don't think.
So I guess follow up, what's the smallest size of company that you would work with, or that you happen?
We've worked with little indie developers for free, we've worked with big AAA titles for not so free, and yeah, but they've all had great success. It's all about choosing the right person for the game. We have a lot of bigger YouTubers that get paid quite a reasonable amount of money to play games, and then maybe on the weekends they want to play something much smaller with their community. Like, they play games for a living. They really want to support the gaming industry. So if they find a small indie game that they really want to support, they'll be happy to show that to their community if they enjoy it. There's a whole load of different indie titles that have exploded because of Twitch or because of YouTube, just because it's cool. And it's not like traditional marketing where people always have to get paid to have something done. If you've got a cool game and you have a nice product, you can talk to pretty much anyone and show it to them, and they'll reply.
The channel to reach them is, I guess, just the contact that they have on their page, or I guess...
Yeah, sure. I must use 15 different messaging applications to talk to these guys, be it Discord, Twitter, WhatsApp, email, whatever.
Yep. So what my advice would be for a very small company with no budget, go the PR way and find yourself the perfect YouTuber, or 3, 4, 5 maybe maximum, and treat them as journalists, as you would approach a gaming magazine. Yeah? Go in touch, offer what you have to offer, and get them interested in your product. It won't work with PewDiePie, but with enough other guys.
I will just add to that, being a smaller YouTuber, I have the time to check my email inbox between content creation, especially with Twitch being a set block of live time. I then have that other time to do administration. I will say sometimes just approaching these guys is complimentary, is a nice feeling for them anyway. To provide them with just a preview copy code, be it a Steam code, can sometimes just be spur enough for them to just play it and take it on their merry way, and they'll be grateful for that. I even have a couple of people who've done that, or I've approached them, and that's all I've been after, is I've seen your game, it looks really good, can I have a code for it? And they've taken it on trust that I will take it further, and I have done in many cases.
From the paid campaigns, what worked for us, and I guess it would be good to try, is to find not English-speaking guys from various countries who might be very popular in their country, and the budgets should be much smaller than the main US market, let's say. So that's one approach.
Hello. I have just one question, considering that of what you have been talking, there are more and more new players in the market, people looking to the influencer marketing, stopping the traditional way to promote their titles, like performance and this kind of stuff. How do you see the near future of influencer marketing? I guess you see that the prices are increasing, some of the influencers are getting more arrogant, or let's say more exclusive in picking up some titles. How do you see the near future? How you will think you will manage it? Is just being more creative, open the look to another maybe smaller markets, or just spending more money?
Okay, so what we experienced, we started with a YouTuber 2.5 years ago, a German YouTuber called Dena. He was 2.5 years ago, he was like at 700K, around this, and now he's at 2.5 million, I think. So he really exploded in the last years. Obviously, he was getting way more money, and he also was incorporated from Coca-Cola to do a German Coca-Cola lifestyle channel, basically. So I think that's for some YouTubers the way to go, to get paid from a company for not only one video or for 2 videos, but for a whole year or for a couple of years. So I think approaching bigger YouTubers will be more costly and more difficult in the future, because the market is still growing, and the YouTubers are still growing, so everything is growing, so obviously the costs will growing as well.
Yeah, I think in the future it's kind of, I hope we see some stabilization. Like, it'd be nice to have stable prices, or like a very nice guideline to go to, because at the moment it's a bit like the Wild West. But I think a lot of that comes to us, and it's on us to kind of educate the people that we work with, especially the influencers, that like kind of how to work in this space. You know, like a lot of these guys and girls, they may be 17, 18. They've never had a job before, let alone worked with a big international gaming publisher. Like I have to walk some of the people I work with, some of the influencers through signing agreements, through how to send an invoice, through how to include bank information on their invoice, like everything. And I think once we can kind of educate all the people that we work with and bring the standard up to a normal level, we'll see like a more stable market, and maybe things will kind of level out. I'm not sure, maybe more performance-based stuff, maybe more CPM-based videos rather than just fixed fees.
Since you have different genres of games, which channel had the best impact for your game? So there are several, in influencer marketing can be on pure gaming, so like Twitch, YouTube can be like mixed, and then there can be, for example, I think Nordcurrent for your title, something like Instagram, for example, could work in a different way that could work for wargaming. Did you try on different channels, and which is the best result for your titles so far?
So far for us, definitely Twitch and YouTube, and these are the best campaigns. But once more, we have a slightly elderly target audience, so meaning starting at, say, 25 and not ending at 50. This is normally not the generation which loves to watch on Twitch and YouTube, but it works out.
Yeah, Richard maybe had similar experiences as we did with our casual games. We reach a lot of people also on Instagram and Facebook and even Twitter. So what we almost always do is have a YouTube sponsorship and then pair it up with social media stuff like Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and that's driving so much more people into the videos. Especially for some bigger YouTubers, they have their second gaming channels basically, so they won't do any product placements on their first channel, but on their second channel. But they don't have two social media accounts, so they have their big main social media account, and then they're posting there the video, and everybody from the main channel basically is trying to come to the video. So for us, for the casual games, it's very important to have social media coverage as well, especially Instagram is still growing. We tried Snapchat for 1 or 2 campaigns and it wasn't working that well, but I think it's still upcoming, so we'll see what brings the future. But Instagram and Facebook, Twitter is a very good channel for us as well.
We tried separate campaigns not involving YouTube. But in the end, YouTube is a must for, I guess, for any game, because it's very, very hard to convey the game idea in one picture. It's very, very hard to take a nice picture of somebody playing your game, well, on mobile at least. It's just, you know, we took a lot of effort to do nice pictures, but in the end, video works much better.
Yeah, also you have the restrictions from Instagram that you can't put links in there, for example. So how would you put a tracing link somewhere if it doesn't allow you? So.
Yeah, thanks for that. I've just been told that we don't have too much time left before I disappear into another rabbit hole. I want to thank these guys for coming along and entertaining us and sharing their thoughts and their ideas. Okay, well, thank you guys for coming. I hope you enjoyed listening to us chat. If you have any questions, do please come and find any of us here. We're more than happy to talk to every one of you. And yeah, until next time, thanks.
Thanks, guys.